This is the Valley's original morning magazine show, ABC 15's Sonoran Living Live.
Summer has a tendency to lead to those cobwebs, up here with your reading skills and your kids. But there are more than a few ways to keep your child's reading skills up to par and in some cases actually improve them over the summer. John Cahill, the founder of ABC Phonetic Reading Schools, is here to explain this morning. And good morning to you.
Good morning, Stephanie.
I was reading and we were talking some staggering numbers. 76% of kids in Arizona are not proficient in reading in, what'd you say?
Fourth and eighth graders.
They're below where they need to be.
Absolutely.
That is ridiculous.
It is.
Chilling.
It is.
So this summer we can take that number that makes us angry as parents, or it should,
right,
and learn. So what is your best advice, your step one? Well,
I think step one is for parents to know whether or not their children are proficient in grade level reading. And one of the ways they can do that is talk to their teacher. They can have their child read something to them. If they struggle with it, skip words, miss words altogether, calling them by different names, then they need to get help. One of the common phrases from the thousands of families that we've seen at ABC Phonetic Reading School is don't wait. If your child's struggling with reading, we as parents all know that reading is the key to academic success for all of our kids.
It's interesting because I don't have a reader in my family yet. He's a pre-reader. Right. I wonder how many parents actually have their kids read aloud to know if there's a problem.
Well, I don't think a lot of that happens. They expect it to happen in school, and that's really what we've done. We've sent our kids to school. We expect that they'll become readers and proficient readers, and then we come to find out here in Arizona that only 24% of our kids are proficient readers. So the most important thing is read with your kids every day. Turn off the television, go to the teacher, find age-appropriate reading material. If your kids are out of school, you can go to the library, talk to the librarian. She'll pick out some age-appropriate reading materials for you and see if your child can read and tell you what's in that book.
I'm kind of giggling because you brought the Arizona Republic and the sports page.
Right.
And that's not exactly what I think of when I think of summer reading for kids. No. So what's the message here?
The idea is that you want to have your children read areas of interest. If they're interested in science, order popular science for your children. If they're interested in sports, you can ask them to read an article on out of the sports page. You don't have time this morning, read it for me, tell me what it's about, either out loud or silently, so you can check your kids' reading and skills and comprehension.
Is that too advanced for most kids?
No, unfortunately, newspapers are written at a 4th to 5th grade level.
Okay.
So if you have a 4th or 5th grader,
that's
they can read. That's a good test.
All right, so we figured out the reading level. Now what? Let's assume that they have some deficiencies, because apparently like 75% of kids in Arizona do.
Right.
And so there's nothing to be ashamed of there, but we can work with it.
No, the reality, this has nothing to do with how smart your children are that don't learn to read. It's usually the process in which they were taught to read in the first place. It's been an ongoing debate in this country over phonics. Thus, ABC Phonetic Reading School is the name of my company. We started 23 years ago. They need to get help immediately. That's, as I said, the common thing before parents. I wish I wouldn't have waited, because every year you wait, your children in an academic environment where they really can't be successful, and so they feel inadequate daily.
What kind of skills are you going to, teach me how you would teach a child.
Well, we have what's considered a systematic explicit phonics program, which teaches the sequence in which we learn these skills, both visually, auditorily, and tactilely. So in a matter of weeks, we see marked improvement. In about 6 to 8 weeks' time in our program, children will enter school next year reading at or above grade level. It's one-on-one instruction. If I couldn't tell you in a short amount of time, we simply teach kids the code to the English language.
The code to the English language.
So they can read anything, any word they come across. They can now say instantly without thinking about it.
I know there are a lot of moms that are sitting at home, probably just like myself, and saying, well, I've got a pre-reader. I've got a toddler, 4th grader, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and they're not quite there yet, but you're like excited to get them to read. So is there anything that we can do?
We have a great program online that we used to sell nationally for years across the country. First on VHS, then on DVDs, and we put it online on our website, letread.com. That'll be available free to parents here in the community. Within the next couple weeks, I suppose, we'll have that up there so they can just log on to our website, download it. It's interactive, teaches kids the sound symbol relationship, so apple, and it's interactive. They can stick on the apple, the A will come out, and then it takes them all the way into blending short vowel, ba, beb, bib, ba, ba, so that they can read a book like Hop on Pop.
Hop on
It's
Pop,
just the greatest. They get
one.
so excited they get.
That is awesome. And you know what? In a time when people are really trying to watch their budgets, when you offer something like that, a resource like that, during the summer for free, it's a big deal. So we'll remind our viewers about that when that gets online.
And for older kids, we've rolled our prices back to 1992 levels to help these parents out there that simply don't have the money this year to do it.
Thank you so much for taking such an interest in our kids and their reading.
My
I think
pleasure.
you got me all fired up. 76% of our kids are reading below where they should be. We have posted more tips as well as a link to the website for the summer reading program on abc15.com. And again, check back in a couple weeks because you'll have that free program for the pre-readers. All of this will be under the Living tab, as well as 5 great tips to how to get your kids to read better this summer.
Are reading difficulties hindering your child's performance in school? Here's your solution.
Being a 5th grade teacher, I know firsthand the frustration of my students with poor reading skill experience. They feel it's their fault. There's a solution. ABC Phonetic Reading Schools. I've seen firsthand the effectiveness of ABC's program in our school. When my son Jordan needed reading help, I knew who to choose. Call ABC. You'll both be glad you did.